So you've probably noticed these two pictures behind me, and if you haven't, stop playing. But they're not just decoration, they're also a reminder. And after this video, I think you might want to get you some yourself. I believe that most of us tend to decorate our space for how we want it to look and how we want it to feel. And I love that for us. But beyond just those things, what about decorating it for what it does? Because see, what we see every day can help to shape us. And so, although they're just two pictures on the wall, they actually have a job to do. Let's first begin with this picture to the right, the success iceberg with all the different words on it. I saw this there's this YouTube channel called Motiversity. I was on their email list. I saw this in the email and I said, I gotta have it. The reason being is because this is a perfect imagery of how I think we normally view success as people, because you just see this at the top, like, oh, the nice car, the money, the nice house, the trips, the highlight reel and all that. Like that's what we see. You know, we love going by what we see, right? But this is all that we don't see in order to make this happen when it's real, you know, success. No tea, no shade, but just when it's real, there's a lot that goes into it just to see this. There's a lot more of this than it is of this. That's one thing that I just really love about this image, is the fact that it's clearly showing that there's a lot of work that has to go into whatever the success is that you want to create. And let's actually look at these words and kind of go through each of them. I could share some instances in my life that I've experienced from this. And I think you could see yourself in this as well. Because if you're watching, we're here, we know this. So I'm sure for you, whatever this looks like for you, you have an idea or kind of, you know, a little path of where you should be going with everything, right? Okay. First of all, what I want to start off with the word success is that I've come to realize over these years that sometimes we experience success and we kind of overlook it. Example, with my own life, I don't view myself as successful at this moment. However, I would say there are things that I have done that would be deemed as successes so far on my journey of life, whether that's getting a job, getting a car, getting a roof over my head, tithing and helping people in certain ways. Like there's those small successes that have happened along the way. So it's not just like, oh, if I haven't got into this whatever big whatever's supposed to be, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have not found success. So I do encourage you to look over your own life and be like, even though I'm not at whatever the ideal picture is, what successes have I already had thus far? Just think about that. Some of the words that really stand out to me, just for my own journey, criticism is one of them, based on the theme of the channel. That's something I've experienced a lot of. But not just, so I would say there's like regular criticism. There's also, you know, constructive criticism as well, which, you know, very healthy. I'd also say there are two sources of criticism. I think there's self-criticism as well as like criticism from other people. I'd say for me, especially being someone that I view myself as a perfectionist, the self-criticism is it can be very harsh. So one thing that I've been working on is not being like that, because nothing's ever going to be perfect. So, and that's not saying that you shouldn't still try hard to improve and all of that, but try while also giving yourself grace, you know? So that's something that I've learned from that. And then of course, with the other forms like the constructive, of course we take it, we build from it. For the just regular criticism, if there's any truth in it that can help make you better, you know, filter it, you know, just don't take all of it now, because we don't keep it. Okay. But you know, if it's something that can really like, you know, maybe there's something I could, you know, work on there. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's a choice. That's a choice. Shout out to my friend. Hey girl. That's one of her quotes. That's a choice. Honestly, I could go through down all of these, I say another one that I think really hits me, a combination of these two, hard work and discipline. Specifically, let me give you an example of where I've seen it for my own life, would be working out. So I started working out like in 2024. Reason being it was because I was about to turn 30, and I was like, oh, people always say after 30 your metabolism slows down and then you get fat out of nowhere. And then also I'm type 1 diabetic, so I'm like, okay, so my metabolism gonna slow down, and then I got diabetes, so that means that they say that I could get a whole bunch of diseases because I got diabetes. So I was like, well, maybe if I just start being healthier now, then I can avoid all that later. The discipline and the hard work that goes into it, sometimes it's a lot. It can really be a lot. Like, no tea, no shade to me, but I I got a trainer, right? And I was like, yeah, I got a trainer. Woo 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 woo. Child, why I'm paying this man and I did not work out for for 3 whole months. I was paying this man. He giving me the workout, the food I'm supposed to eat, all of this, and I was not doing it. So that's why I said we got to give ourselves grace. Got to give ourselves grace. But eventually, I started to see the results from it. But also, when I started seeing the results, that was after like months of going, when I did actually start working out, 6 days a week, and making sure I'm eating right and all of that for a long time before I saw anything. So before I saw this, in that area, it was a lot of this. So it just plays out in all parts of life. And I think just remembering that is very helpful in terms of just being mindful of what we can do and how long it could take, and, you know, cultivate some patience, you know. Because patience is a virtue and a delay is not a denial. Hello. But yeah, so let me know like which hits you? Like what's your word that you really need to take into consideration for where you are in your journey? Let me know. Let me know. This picture over here, as you see, it's like it's just a picture of a kitchen, right? But this is more like a vision boardy kind of dream future type situation. So let me go into detail. So for myself, I've always been kind of unsure like what type of place I wanted to live in. But from what I've experienced in life, what I've seen and what I would like to experience, I like the idea of a penthouse. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, if it's a penthouse, I'm sure it's gonna have a really nice white kitchen. I have this thing for like certain gold hardware and all that. You can kind of see here that it's like overlooking whatever it's overlooking and whatnot, right? Okay. And so this picture is more so a reminder of what I want to have, what I want to achieve, why I'm doing the work that I'm doing now. You know, even though the present looks like it does, the future can look how I want it to look if I, you know, put in the work, stay consistent, all of that. So that's more so what this is a reminder of for me. I would encourage you to get you a good vision picture of something that you want to have in the future. Make sure you look at it every day and really like connect to that feeling, that energy of what it is that you want to have in your life. And so with that being said, for me with this one, it's a kitchen. Might have to get some more just to decorate all the walls, you know. But for this one, it's a kitchen. What is it for you? I'm curious. I want to know. What is it for you? And the reason why I think things like this are so important is because our brain is like wired for imagery. Like I know I've heard a lot over the years that we so there was some type of exercise, I forgot what it is, where the person was able to, they like wrote down some words and they tried to recall it, but then when it was the same words but in picture form, they were able to remember the picture more than just the words themselves. And I think that's just because we're connecting more of our senses, you know, because you see something, then you can also remember how it smells and what you heard, and it kind of incorporates more of your senses. At least that's what I'm assuming. That's what I think. I'm pretty sure from things that I've in my life that I remember very vividly, it's been incorporating a lot more of the senses. So, same thing, same thing with this. So again, a goal here is cute, but when the goal is actually here and it's more physical and you actually see it, it just helps to bring it about more quickly. In conclusion, I would love for you to assess your space, assess your environment, and just look around and say, is this showing me where I'm going? Can I see where I'm going by looking around in my environment? Not where I am, not where I've been. Is it showing me where I'm going? Does anything in here show where I am going? Is it pulling me forward? If there's nothing there right now, that's okay. We all got to start somewhere. I didn't always have these, but it is, something to think about, just a little point of reflection. So think about it, do what's best for you. But anyway, again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching. And as always, we do our best and we let God do the rest.